Ripple XRP. So today we have seen the spot Bitcoin ETF approval chaos. Guys, it was an absolute mess, and unfortunately the SEC have manipulated the markets again. Now Brad Garlinghouse has actually clapped back and spoken about what has happened with this SEC supposed hack. Now I think that the SEC hack is actually a scam, so we're going to take a look at what has happened and of course the price action for XRP coin towards the end of the video. All I ask from you are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. So what happened today? What was the chaos? Well, you can see over here that from the SEC X's account, they said basically the spot Bitcoin ETFs are approved, and they did it on January the 9th, and I'm sure that January the 10th was the original date for the approval, so I think that they messed up there anyhow. So it says over here that they tweeted, today the SEC grants approval for Bitcoin ETFs for listing on all registered national securities exchanges. The approved Bitcoin ETFs will be subject to ongoing surveillance and compliance measures to ensure continued investor protection. And that is quite ironic considering the fact that they have essentially now manipulated the market again and harmed investors yet again. However, Ripple are still going through their lawsuit. It is all a joke. So this was their tweet that came yesterday on the 9th of January at 3:11 p.m. So what happened? Well, you guessed it right. It was FUD. It was fake news apparently, because 10 minutes later, Gary Gensler then put a tweet out on his X account saying that the SEC government Twitter account was compromised. Bearing in mind, this is the US Securities Exchange that we are talking about. This is not your average X account. It's not my account or someone that has a low level amount of followers. Not even that, just someone that actually upholds the law. And apparently an unauthorized tweet was posted because it was compromised. The SEC has not approved the listing and trading of spot Bitcoin exchange traded products. Well, Gary, I'm sorry to say, but that is too late. Too late of the news to deliver, and you already did the wrongdoing anyhow, because imagine all of that capital inflow that would have went within that 10 or even 20 minutes of trading. Bitcoin apparently went up from 45k to 47k. You've just manipulated the market again. I definitely don't think that this was a hack on my opinion, but let's just take a look at what the safety team on X has said. Now this is what they have come out with in the morning today. They are saying that we can confirm that the account, the SEC, was compromised and we have completed a preliminary investigation. So in that investigation, I'm not quite sure if it was just some sort of briefing investigation, because it obviously isn't going to be full. I mean, do they even have the IP address of who actually hacked the account? Are they able to get the details of that? So based on their investigation, which won't even be that detailed, the compromise was not due to any breaches of X's systems, but rather due to an unidentified individual obtaining control over a phone number associated with the SEC government account through a third party. So is this an inside job? Because that is what I'm thinking of it right now, if they have managed to be able to get the phone number associated in relation to the SEC. We can also confirm that the account did not have two-factor authentication enabled at the time that when the account was compromised. Two-factor authentication, guys, is the most basic thing. I'm sure that a lot of you know what it is. It's essentially just your phone number and your email address, and it's so easy to set up as well. So the fact that the account didn't even have it just goes to show how stupid and dumb the SEC are. And of course, their advice is to encourage all users to enable this extra layer of security. So the fact that the SEC didn't even have this on their account goes to show just how irresponsible that they are. And that is what the safety team on X said. But do I personally think that this was a hack, or do I think it was all planned? I think that this was part of their plan all along, probably since day one. I don't believe for 1 second that they actually got hacked. Now I think that the SEC need to be investigated again for market manipulation, and it's not funny, right? You know, what did we have? Was it about 2 months ago now, or a month ago, when we had that XRP ETF filing and it was fake? And look what happened with the price of XRP coin. It went from 62 cents to 70 cents just in the span of an hour. So we had that filing happen. That was FUD news. And then now we've got these spot Bitcoin ETFs, and that was FUD news. So we've had two pieces of FUD news, and it's crucial, right? Because the market reacts. It's in real time. The market doesn't wait for no one. And now my question is, what is going to happen when it actually is approved, right? When they announce it today, which is what we are all expecting, will it have as much of an effect on the market as it originally did? Maybe not as much, right? Maybe in the beginning beginning, maybe the first couple of days, it might not be as much of an effect, because I think that they have already taken that away from us now that they did this fake tweet. And I also think that it's quite ironic how Gary was just warning people about FOMO and telling you to protect your investment and that you shouldn't go after this or you shouldn't do that, and basically trying to help people. But of course, he then went and created this mess. I think that they did this on purpose. I can't ever see the SEC doing anything right. They always seem to be getting it wrong, and they have admitted that there have been inaccuracies and lies within their attorneys. Now, the SEC cannot investigate itself for this. It cannot be an internal investigation. An external organization has to investigate the SEC, because as of now, the SEC is not being held accountable. I think that Gary Gensler should be held accountable for this, or the person who even runs the account for the SEC, because this is huge news and it has caused a massive impact to the whole crypto market, to investors like you and I. Now, some people have said that this could potentially be an excuse to delay the approval, and I think if they do, people are going to be very angry, because again, we've had that date now going on for so long, which is meant to be today. In my opinion, I don't think that it should be delayed, but I can see why it would make people think that. When it comes to this hack, I want more evidence with regards to the fact that it has happened, more evidence in terms of the details, the IP address, and how they were even able to get the phone number as well in relation to the SEC. And I want Gary Gensler, of course, to be held accountable. So what has the CEO of Ripple said about this, Brad Garlinghouse? He says in reaction to this that days like this remind me that 1, the SEC should be investigating itself for multiple things, and 2, crypto Twitter remains undefeated in memes, which of course is funny. But number 1, the SEC cannot be investigating itself. I understand where Brad is coming from, but at this point, the SEC have already investigated themselves before, and guess what they have concluded? They concluded that there was no wrongdoing. So at this rate, there's no point for an investigation within the SEC. What needs to happen is that somebody else needs to investigate the SEC for what they've done, so there is no bias in terms of that. And Chad reacts over here saying that so a hacker obtained a government official account because they weren't using two-factor authentication and gained access to the SEC for a mere matter of minutes. What happened then was that they gained control of the scheduled tweet and sent it out. You got a 48 head start, you're welcome. So what basically happened is once that they were supposedly hacked, the SEC were able to take control of their account again, and they were able to delete that tweet. So it all seems a bit too controlled, because when it comes to a hacker, they usually hack the account and they post quite a few tweets, and they usually actually take control of that account, maybe for a couple of hours, maybe a day or even 2, before the original account user can even get it back. So again, there is a lot of suspicion and speculation going around that the SEC probably did it themselves. And also, in light of all of this information, I thought that I would show you this tweet that we had back in October with 8.7 million views from the SEC. And it says over here, careful what you read on the internet. The best source of information about the SEC is the SEC. Right, okay. So be careful, guys, what you read on the internet, but in order to find the best information, make sure that you also read what the SEC has got to say. And yesterday they said this. And so of course this is catch-22, because they are being caught in their own web of lies. The best source of information is to take information very lightly until we know that it is actually approved. The SEC is not going to be the best source of information when they got their account compromised. Now, not only is this bad for the SEC in general, but when it comes to the future, right, and with cryptocurrency, if we have any other sort of regulations or approvals that will happen, a lot of people will be speculating now as to whether something has happened or not because of this that we have seen. But it is also going to impact the future when it comes to anything that the SEC says, and rightfully so, as they have now lost our trust. I mean, they lost our trust before, right? But this just goes to show that they have dug themselves deeper in the hole. And now that we have actually got that out of the way, let's take a look at the price action for XRP coin. So we are trading at 0.5525. We are at 50 cents. We are down by 2.73% on the 1-day chart. For the volume, we are up by 44.23%, and we are trading at $1.7 billion. So if we have a look at where we were in the earlier hours of the morning, as you can see, we were at 57 cents. Now, where we went to from that 57-cent level was 0.5597. We did actually come up, as you can see over here, to 0.5675, but we have taken a dip now, so we are down by 2 cents on the day. If we have a look at the 7-day chart, you can see over here this pattern that we are having. So we went to 55 cents, and then we went back up to 0.567, and then back down to that 55-cent level, and then again all the way to 58 cents, and back down to just under 56 cents, up to 57 cents, and then back down to that 55-cent level. And so this pattern goes to show that we are trading within that 55 to 57 cent level. On the 7-day chart, we are down by 1.9%. 50%. Again, when it comes to XRP coin, if we do retrace and go back down and even below this 55-cent level, we could potentially be going into that 53-cent zone. But I do want XRP coin to be at the 60-cent price target. Let's see if we can get there. Now guys, if you want daily Ripple XRP coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.